I'm not missing anything, am I? Nope, we're good. Okay. Hi, I am Chef Tim, and this week on the island we are making a honey-baked ham, cheese, and spinach frittata. Guys, this is a great low-carb, high-protein breakfast, even lunch or dinner. The frittata knows no bounds. Perfect for Christmas morning, or better yet, the day after Christmas when you have some leftovers to burn through. Nothing is quite as satisfying as making a perfect frittata. Let me show you how to do it.
For this recipe, you will need eggs and half, salt and pepper, olive oil, spinach, onions, shallots, and garlic, your choice of cheese, both cubed and shredded, and of course, honey-baked ham.
To begin, we're going to crack our eggs one at a time into a large bowl, add our dairy to that, as well as our salt and pepper, and then we're going to whisk to combine. Moving on to our next step. So we are going to saute our vegetables. We've got our eggs mixed up. Those are looking good. Grab a large saute pan. You're going to want it to be large and non-stick because you're going to cook your frittata in here. You don't want your frittata to stick. So grab that pan, turn up the heat to medium, add 1 tablespoon of oil to that pan. Once that oil gets hot, we're going to wilt our spinach. So you've got your chopped spinach here. We're going to add that to the pan and we're going to completely wilt it. Take as much moisture out of the spinach as you can, because if you don't do it now, the moisture is going to end up in your frittata and you don't want a wet frittata. So next step, once you get your spinach wilted, you're going to put it into a large bowl to the side. You're going to add 1 more tablespoon of oil to the pan. Once that's hot, you're going to saute your onions for about 4 to 5 minutes or until the onions get nice and soft. Then move on to your shallots and your garlic. Add those to the pan. Let those cook for about 1 minute or until nice and fragrant. Then we're going to turn the heat off and we're going to move on to our next step. Moving on to the next step. So you have your onions, your shallot, and your garlic in your pan. Everything's looking soft and delicious. Next, we're going to add the rest of our ingredients, but before we do that, let's preheat our oven to 375 degrees because we're going to finish this in the oven. So let's get that going. Once you have that going, let's add the rest. You've got your honey-baked ham. Dump that into the pan. Dump your spinach into the pan. Mix those together. Top that with your egg mixture and half of your shredded cheese. Mix those together. You're going to want everything to be evenly distributed because how it lays in the pan now is how it's going to end up. And then, this is the fun part, you guys were wondering about the cubed cheese. So you take these cheese cubes and then you evenly drop them all over the top of your frittata. They're going to hit the top, they're going to sink in, and they're going to create these awesome, delicious cheese pockets. You guys are going to love it. Once you get the cube cheese in there, start cooking this over medium-low heat because you want to get the bottom to set while still up on the stove top. You're going to know this is happening because around the edge of the frittata, you'll see that it's cooked and it's going to start to set up. Once you notice that, it's time to grab the whole pan and slide it into the oven and finish it in there. Moving on to our next step. So the edges are starting to set up. That's how I know it's time for this thing to go in the oven. We're going to slide the whole saute pan into the oven. Make sure it's an oven-proof saute pan. Very important before you do that. Slide the whole saute pan into the oven and we're going to cook it for about 15 minutes. But at the halfway point, we're going to pull it out and we're going to top it with the rest of our shredded cheese. It's going to give it a beautiful cheesy top. This is going to be a very cheesy frittata. I hope you guys are okay with that. So once you get that cheese on, slide it back in, cook it for another 7 to 8 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, you are going to, and this is how you know a frittata is done, very carefully with an oven mitt, pull this out and give it a little jiggle. It should all jiggle cohesively as one mass. Now, the center might still be a little wet looking. That's actually perfect. The key to a perfectly cooked frittata is to pull it out about a minute before it's done and let that residual heat cook it all the way through. Cooking it perfectly, you don't want to overcook your frittata. So let's give this a shot and see how we do. Ham fam, that is it. I hope you enjoy this whenever you decide to eat it, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Enjoy your holiday. See you next time.